Poopy. Poopy scoopy. Poopity scoop. Whoopty poopty. Scoopty
Dude,
whoop.
I remember that. I know you remember that.
Oh yeah. I memorized the lyrics, man.
That I can't believe that was actually a Kanye song.
It was
Dude,
hilarious.
I mean, I guess I do. That makes sense. He was Kanye. He is
Poop
Kanye.
diddy whoop scoop.
Poop
Poop
diddy whoop
poop.
scoop. Poop scoop. Do you think that was a sign? That was like his way of saying anything goes. I'm that popular. I can make anything I want.
He kind of does what he wants. He's really interesting, man. He talks about what it's like to live in Hollywood and all the basically satanic shit that's going on. It's really
What?
interesting.
I mean, but here's the thing. I'm not discrediting his experiences, but I will say that, um, and I'm also not like trying to talk badly about mental illness or anything. But let's just say there was a period where he was going through like instability due to his medication that he was taking, and then also due to not being on the medication. And so he's had a record of saying like some pretty outlandish things, and so it's hard for me to like take what he says at face value and be like, oh wow, like that's actually happening, because I don't know what's actually his experience and what's actually just like a little bit of delusion. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I would take anything Kanye says with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
He's he doesn't have a consistent track record in terms of where he stands on different things, but I think part of it is truth shrouded in mystery. Now, which parts are true is really that's kind of the fun part to pick up on. Um, I do think there is some truth though for him saying his experiences in the Hollywood scene. That seems to be pretty consistent for like people who've gotten big. They talk about their like going through like Posty, for example. Man, he's like, dude, being in Hollywood, like Hollywood's bleeding.
Well, then he ran out. I mean, he's still popular and he still makes music, but he ran out of Hollywood. Like he doesn't live there anymore. I don't think.
Yeah,
I think it like
Hollywood's
he got a taste of it.
bleeding.
It really
Vampires
got him dark.
feeding. Everybody turns to dust.
Yeah. No, he's a cool. I don't know. He seems like a pretty relatable, even though he's like a larger than life kind of character.
Yeah,
I feel like he is someone that wasn't born into the music industry, so he was kind of like an outside perspective and always wanted to get in. Then he got there, and now he has even discussed, in podcasts and such, how disturbing it can be in some circles. I think it's just the money. Like you said, satanic, and I think Kanye used to be a rapper when he first started. He made Christian music. At least it was more wholesome rap, right?
well, you've seen him try to return to that Christianity thing.
Yeah,
You've
he made an album like a couple years ago that was like
yeah,
a gospel album.
really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So, but do you
Um,
think that him being in that circle is what made him create some not so, I guess, holy topics? I mean, I'm not holier than thou. I'm not out here preaching. I'm not saying that there's a right way to do it. That I know exactly how it is. Follow me, because by no
yeah,
means that. But I'm definitely saying that it's clear to see that he has changed his direction a few times. With almost like the intention that he has in his music and the message that he was trying to get across. I'm sure it had plenty to do with his environment, the social environment there. Dude, we can go in conspiracy talk if we want. Talking about Hollywood, I feel like that's not like political enough to really get in trouble for. It's just,
yeah. No, it's not. It's
I mean,
it's
hey, listen,
so
Hollywood,
it's
they want to be talked about. They want publicity. So here we are talking, That's it.
yeah, it's detached enough. I think. Um, what was I gonna, dude? I just I think the whole like once you've reached the top thing is so interesting because and this is like a concept that I sat and thought about for a really long time, which is like once you reach the top, you still have the same desire to like go out and find something to do, because it's like, let's say that all of your physical and mental and all of your desires are met, like your physical needs. Like you're still hungry and you're still looking for more as a human being. Like even when you have all the access to all this money, whatever pleasures that the world has to offer, it's like you can reach that point, and there's people still, like, depending on which person you look at, some people reach that point, like Marcus Aurelius, the freaking Roman emperor who lived a righteous life. Like that's a great example. He's the one who basically made Stoicism popular. Um, but like using him as an example, like there's positive examples, and then there's other examples like Posty. Like he went through, and it seems like he's coming out the other end more wholesome. But like he was in there for a little bit, and like homeboy talks about like, yo, I'm freaking depressed. Like, look at him, man. He's got all the money he could want. Sings about his fancy cars. Sings about like all these bitches and like all this access that he has. And even still, it's like this isn't enough for me. What more could the human want? And then I think Maslow's hierarchy is obviously one place we could think about. Like you want to ascend to other more meaningful things, but it's really interesting how like we still have so much more beyond the human like physical desires that we want to meet. And it's like, okay, so I'm gonna put myself in like Posty's shoes. What if I what if I had unlimited monies and I had made music and my name was famous? How could I still be unhappy then? It's like almost at that point, like the issues shift. It's like now I want to be more simple. Like I don't want to have my name known. I don't want to be stopped on the streets. I just want to be somebody that can walk out and have a nice cup of coffee walking down like some kind of nice trail somewhere without having people stop me everywhere I go. Um, it's almost like no matter what you do, and I'm not a pessimist by any stretch of the imagination, but it's good to know that like the human struggle is a constant. It's a constant driver. It's a constant reminder that like this whole experience that we're in is very temporary. It's not it's not everything, bro. Like, but while we're here, it's like what do you do to make the most out of it? I love sitting and thinking about this. Like, if I know that meeting my physical needs isn't enough, and I know that like I could get just as famous as Posty. Like he started out from nothing. Like anybody can do it if they spend enough time. But it's like that's not where the answer lies, and I think the answer lies somewhere else, which is it's like this is gonna sound stupid, maybe not, but the answer is love. Okay, and let me define love for you. I've been reading this really great book. It's called The Art of Loving by Eric Fromm. Um, and love can be defined in a lot of different ways, but I think one of the most powerful examples he uses is love is when you find that person that can give you absolutely nothing, that person that has no ability to walk, that person that can't even speak, is blind, has nothing they can give you. And when you give your love to that person who has absolutely no capabilities of loving you back, and you freely give that love, that right there is something very special. And that is almost like it's like transcending this human plane, because you're doing something that is so counter to like the human desires of like I want more of me, how can I make me better? And it's like, no, man, there is this person right here who can't bathe themselves, who can't feed themselves, And it's like that right there. That's where the true happiness lies, brother. And it's crazy to me, um, that it's almost like you have to the things that are so counterculture. It's almost like you live in this matrix, but it's like the answer is going to be almost the exact opposite of almost everything that we constantly work for, which is like I'm working to build myself up right now. We're all working to build ourselves up, and now with the social media boom, it's all about me. It's such a selfish culture, bro. Like I'm not sitting here saying like that I don't participate in that. I'm a product of my culture. Of course I do. But I should still talk about the ideal, because I think in order for us to work towards something, we have to obviously discuss what the ideal is. So to get out of the rat race that takes away from life's meaning, I think a huge part of that is love. And using that definition of true love is giving yourself freely to something that cannot give back to you, nor do you expect it to.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to be selfish sometimes. Um, but we live in a society that makes you want to be selfish all the time.
Yeah.
And I agree. One of the beauties of the human experience is being able to love others, uh, love yourself, and be able to see people improve themselves and feel better and receive that love and give love back. It's really beautiful. Especially, shout out to all the nurses out there, that they are in a experience like that where they're taking care of somebody that is struggling so much that they can't care for themselves, and they're able to. I know it's their job, but hey, you don't get into that job just because it pays okay. Like nurses really
Yeah.
have
It's too
this
hard.
incredible
It's too
level of
hard to do just for the pay, bro.
and
Like,
yeah, it really is. It's a labor of love, man. It's wild how selfless they can be. I'm sure people have had good and bad experiences, but I don't think it's hard to. I don't think it's possible to deny the fact that these people are doing a job where it's catering to the needs of someone that's incapable of doing that for themselves. And the consequence of you not doing that for them is potentially them dying. It's such a severe contrast of responsibilities for yourself versus your duty to other, and it's pretty wild. And going back on what you were saying about how a lot of times these days people spend a lot of time thinking and wanting and ruminating about their past and desiring for their future, they forget to just do and to feel the present moment. And like I said, it's okay to work for yourself and do what you have to for yourself, but it's really special when you're able to do and feel the making a moment special for others around you. Hey, maybe there's an ego trip there. Maybe there's an extrovert who's standing up dancing on a table and he's trying to get other people to laugh, but at the same time he's also just trying to feel good about himself and and being a fool, I guess, a little jester. But on a more wholesome level, it could be something where it's just being in a room with your grandma, if you're lucky enough to have her there in the room with you, and rather than just being on your phone doing something, on Instagram, you're actually just there talking and listening to the same story she's probably told you 30 times before, but you just want to sit there and listen and appreciate the fact that she's there with you.
right.
And to surprise her, even, hey, want to go for a little walk, or want to go sit outside and drink some tea. Something very simple that could really, I think, be you could make her whole year doing something like that. You don't know. she's lived a long life. She's got a lot of years. It's probably hard for you to compete against grandma's craziest 20s. But,
But it
but
and how life slows down as you age,
do you
and
think it
like
slows down? I think it speeds up, doesn't it? You slow down, life speeds up.
it in the sense that the amount of people like in your social circle
Oh, sure.
diminishes.
Yeah.
Like I'm seeing that now as a 26-year-old. Like my social circle
Yeah. Okay.
diminishes.
Like Gene Scoop. This
Like
guy's a dinosaur.
um, it's just really interesting, the kind of impact that we can have on even just like our grandparents. Like they don't see that many people during the day, and like old people in nursing homes too. They don't see that many people during the day. They're seeing like their healthcare practitioners, and that's it, man. And
Hmm.
some of these people, they just that's all they want. They just want a little bit of social interaction, and it's it's cool. It's cool to see like how much you can light them up and like bring them joy just by slowing down and getting out of your damn head just for a second to like talk to this person who really can't offer you anything. Like
That's not true.
that's
They got
I'm
experience.
yes, but you get what I'm saying, bro. Like I'm not in
They got
it
cookies, bro.
to gain anything from this person. That's what I'm
I understand.
like going into an interaction expecting something from somebody else is not that's not love. That's some, like I'm trying to define what would it be like to live in a state of love
Well,
and like
going to the the Post Malone example, and how he has everything, or at least he reached a, he's not the richest guy or the most famous guy, but he reached this really high point. And you're pointing out the whole grass is greener on the other side. When you're in our shoes and you don't have a exuberant amount of money or fame, you want it, and you take for granted the fact that you could just go to a coffee shop unbothered. And then he can't go to the coffee shop, so he starts fantasizing about being able to do something like that, where he's got plenty of money, or I'm assuming, but what's special is that you notice in both of those examples, both those individuals can go talk to their grandma and just really enjoy that conversation.
this is true.
Like,
So
really, you have to, like, and that's love, dude. Like, no matter where you are financially, no matter where you
go
are
and talk to your grandma.
socially, or in the world, family is pretty important. And if you don't have that, friends and social connections, it's something that you could really experience and share with people. And usually, a lot of times, I realize the people that you're closest with, even if they're not, you know, hereditarily family, you'd be like, yo, I love you, bro. Like, there's people out there that you just build that connection with. And I think it's because, albeit there's different forms of love and showing that care and attention to making someone else be appreciated. But dude, it's priceless. Like, and I literally, like, it costs zero effort, to really just be present and be there with someone and allow them to, you know, be heard, and vice versa. And that's like, it's something that it's almost an illusion that they try to recreate to make people feel better in some social media platforms, or in and even like some experiences, like if you go to whatever. I'm not going to go with analogies, but you understand my point.
Yeah.
It's free. It's free. You could do that no matter who you are. And it's really a shame when people don't recognize that simple pleasure not only makes the other person's day, but once you realize how to appreciate it, it can make your day too. It's really simple.
And that's something that I'm getting into, pro. Like bringing positivity to other people's lives and like totally radically changing somebody's day. Dude, something as simple as like the most innocent compliment, man. Like, hey man, I like your tie. Like, dude, that might be enough to get this person out of their head, to get them in a positive feedback loop that just totally changes their entire day. Or or just like entering into your interactions, like for you, like in work, with like a state of like gratitude, where like you just come in, you're like, you know what? I'm happy that I got this work. I'm happy that I got something to do. I'm happy that I can help other people with my work. And like that whole mentality, like it is so infectious. Just like the opposite is infectious, where you have somebody who's in a bad mood, and as soon as you see them and they're like, "What do you want? Can I help you?" Like it's immediately like it puts you in a bad mood. So the exact opposite is true, where it's like, "Hey man, how's it going? Like, can I help you with anything?" Like, or like you make like a little joke, like, you looking kind of good. Like I don't know, not like that, but
Thanks, bro.
yeah. Like it's something to like change their paradigm for the day. It's really, it doesn't take anything. It doesn't cost you anything. Like you were saying before, it's like, it's just something that you can do, that you can include in your day, that just, man, it's like sending waves through this reality, positive waves in your actions, in your thoughts. And if the thoughts that you're thinking are thoughts of gratitude, thoughts of love, thoughts of joy and happiness, which is something I'm working on right now, bro. I'm really like, I want to be like deep on my, like on my insides, man. I just want to be like, I want to be a ball of light for like, for all, dude, there's just so much negativity right now, bro, but I want to like change it inside of me so that despite all those challenges, despite all the BS that we put up with, man, I can still show up and be a smiling face like consistently.
I'm gonna write this down because I don't want to lead with this because what you just said was pretty wholesome, and I implore you to continue on that journey. But I want to say, do you feel like it's possible to express that love and that positivity, or as some people like to say, like the good vibrations? You know, some people. I mean, I don't want to sound ignorant on this. I know it might not be too scientific. We do have brainwaves. We do have actual frequencies. I don't know how real it is, where you can have a vibration that's felt by other people. But we are very social creatures, and we have like intuition and, like, so to speak, figurative antennas that we can pick up on, body cues and
Micro expressions
yeah,
of your
yeah.
face.
Like, it's weird. Like, maybe like I don't have an actual antenna sticking out of my head, and you're not projecting, a frequency emitted in some kind of, you know, radiating light, some photons coming out of you. But there's
Yeah.
definitely an energy in the form of physical and auditory, expression.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Auditory is huge. Like your voice tone can tell you a
dude.
lot. And there, yeah, it's not like you're sitting there holding a sign that says "I'm angry." Like, no, man.
Right.
It's like it's the combination of your body language, your vocal tone, and your micro expressions in your face that like somebody will walk up to you one day and like you're in your head and you're like, "Damn, I'm fucking angry." But like you're putting on that fake smile, like you're trying, and even though you're still trying, people will come up to you, "Are you mad, bro? Like, is everything okay?" And you're like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." Like, but it's like you're frustrated because they saw right through your BS
Sure,
act
sure,
that you're
sure.
like,
Right.
you know what I'm talking about. It's like you're like really trying to hold it together, and
Oh
like
man.
you just got in a fight with somebody before you showed up to work. It's like, nah, bro, you can't even hide it, dog.
Someone just cut you off, and then you
Yeah,
got rear-ended, and there's a whole like lore of the 30 minutes it took you to get to work, and then when you walk in, you have to just be like, "Hi, how are you?" Dude,
and then your
it's hard.
boss
Like,
is like, "Is
literally,
everything okay?"
right? It's really, that's a great point. It's hard in the professional structure sometimes to be able to categorize and then compartmentalize in a way that allows you to maintain professionalism. And I think it's totally important for everyone to be able to master that. We can go back and talk about it, meditation. We can talk about habits and all that, but just having the self awareness to be able to recognize how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, can actually help you maybe like break that down
And
and
have a
address
safe
it.
place to express those emotions.
Right, right. And you might be able to do that in a healthy way versus just like bottling up and, like you said, just like having that fake smile,
Yeah,
and you're just like,
yeah.
I'm in Spain without the S. you know
True, true.
Sometimes you can actually address these things and kind of come to terms with it in a way that doesn't allow you to project bad vibes. And it's funny you mentioned the auditory, or there are frequencies in sound, so I guess good vibes and bad vibes can be literally translated into voice tonality as well.
Through the Pygmalion effect, because we're going to try and act in ways that others would perceive as positive.
Dude, you know that I when I'm working as a dental assistant, when I wake up in the morning, I go to work and I'm just assisting the whole day, and my voice tends to stay like at a pretty neutral level. But if I have to work the front desk that day and I have to like answer phones, talk to people, my voice actually gets higher. By the end of the day, I'm like, "Hi, how are you doing today?" Like it's like much more animated and higher pitch. And it's like because that's what I feel like people want to hear. They don't want to be like, "Hey, how you doing? This is the dental office. You got an appointment coming up. Please confirm. Call this number. Yada yada." It's like, you know. And in fact, I've had people I pick up. Hey, how are you doing? This is yada yada, and we're calling to confirm your appointment. They're like, "What? I can't hear you." And then as soon as I change it to like, "Hi, how are you doing? My name is Renee, and we're calling from Bing 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 Bing, and we want to make sure that you're taking your medication, or how you feeling after your extraction yesterday."
Yeah.
And like I bring that tone up, and then they respond to it positively. Um, and that's because as a dental assistant, the only person I'm talking to is the dentist. Really, I mean, I do talk to the patient as well, but it's more one-on-one. It's also in person, so unless they have a hearing aid or something, I could just talk to them casually and kind of. I do send out good vibes even in the deep voice, not so much the high-pitched voice, but I feel like it's more personable, and I could be more myself when I'm in the back as a dental assistant, talking with the patient on the dental chair and having like good bedside manner, versus on the phone. Not saying I'm being fake when I'm front desk compared to when I'm in the back, but it's definitely like a persona that you have to encompass in order to be received well. It's very it's just something that in my experience that I've noticed when I spend all day up there. I can tell that my voice is higher pitched by the end of the day versus if I'm not doing that, my voice will kind of maintain neutral at my base level. I probably do it here sometimes when I'm talking to you because I feel like I get subconscious about the mic's not picking up my voice. I gotta be like this now.
So there's some evolutionary psychology and biology behind that. I mean, basically, speaking in a high pitched voice comes across as less intimidating to others.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It portrays less dominance. It portrays like a friendly, open approach versus somebody who comes in like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, you trying to like it that like a lower voice conveys like more dominance, more intimidation, that sort of thing." So what you're talking about is a totally it's funny, it's a researched phenomenon, and it's perceived as more friendly when you come in like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah, no, I definitely I only get unless they have a hearing aid, because this happened before, but unless they have a hearing aid, I feel like with men I could be like, "Hey, if you wouldn't mind, please fill out this paperwork, and then we'll see you in just a few moments, okay? Thank you." Like I can keep my natural tone, and it's received fine. Whereas like with women, I have to be like, "Hey, if you wouldn't mind, please fill out this paperwork. Go ahead and sign in, and we'll see you in just about 5 minutes." I had to like be more like, "May I take your head, sir?"
Yeah, yeah.
And they're like, "Okay, yeah." Versus just being like, "Hey, yo, I'm gonna
Hey,
need to sit down in the waiting room for a minute
I'm gonna need a boneless pizza
with a 2-liter Coke."
with 2 Leo Coke. Yo,
we're out of 2-liter Coke right now, but I got 1 liter left.
oh, dude, somebody, yo, we got somebody asking a question.
Oh, what? Where in the clubhouse or a different stream?
YouTube.
Oh, snap! I don't even have that app open, bro. We need a manager. We need Jamie.
Yeah,
Hey,
we need a
Jamie, what
Jamie.
up?
Hi, can I ask questions here?
Yeah, dude, ask away.
Yep.
In fact, let's address the questions in the next like 5 or 10 minutes or so, because I didn't realize it's actually late and we both
Yeah,
gotta
we both gotta
skedoodle.
Skedaddling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yuri, if you have any questions, feel free, man. You see that down there, Renee?
Oh, that is pretty cool. Ask away, Yuri Nator. That's a pretty cool name, dude. Yeah, Um,
Damn it! I should have had
um,
it on full screen. The one time we get whoops.
I know I've got the little Clubhouse app open on my phone so I can see if anyone pops
All
in.
right. So
Yeah.
next time, I forgot. Next time I'll manage the StreamYard chat.
Okay. And does YouTube, Twitch, do they all come in through StreamYard?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So then I'll watch Clubhouse and I'll just be moderator of that.
Bet.
And I'll bring like headphones that I could plug in. I could probably wear like an Apple headphone in my ear. I don't know, because it picks up audio, doesn't it? So I probably have
I'm
to get
not sure.
non-mic headphones. We'll see. I'll figure out a better way to integrate both streams. And plus,
Yeah.
we didn't share this. At least I haven't shared this room with Clubhouse. Oh my god! I just realized I've been muted on Clubhouse this whole time. Okay, not the whole time, but like there was a point where you were talking and I muted it so they didn't pick up background noise. But it's a work in progress, guys. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, yo, I gotta get going though.
Yeah, dude, this was great. I mean, I'll come back on Monday. Monday night we'll be streaming around 6 p.m. or so.
That sounds good.
And we're actually going to be going back to the textbook that we talked about last time, which is a compilation of research articles on the psychology of habits. We'll be talking about the measurements of habit, as well as any other interesting personal experiences or research experiences that we'd like to share. Hopefully, it could help ourselves improve in our habitual lives, as well as yourselves. Nurture that nature, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of the title.
Ooh.
Ooh. Well,
All right, y'all. Cheers.